Hares to the Pickleball Addiction podcast.
Hi, nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks very much for joining us. Here, congratulations are in order as well.
Thank you. Yes, my partner, myself and Emily Jelly, my partner, we had the birth of our child just over 3 weeks ago. So, yes, future pickleball star to look out for, Evelina Jelly.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah, get started early. I mean, yeah, even just with something to bat a ball with her hand, something like that. That'd be great. Yeah. Some hand-eye coordination early on.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've just got my kids into it. So one's nearly 10, 7, and 4. I've just started them. It's really good fun, actually. They love it like straight away. I mean, they can't barely hit the ball, but it's fun. It's fun for now, and I'm looking forward to playing with them a little bit longer over the next few months.
I'm sure I can't wait.
So, yeah, for people who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got into pickleball, that kind of thing.
Hi, yes. So I'm Ed Hares. I started playing pickleball about 5 years ago. At the time, I was doing a PhD at Bristol University, and I was dating my current fiancée, Emily, and we were at her mum's one Christmas, who is an avid pickleball player, Katerina Jelly, one of the 50-plus ladies that I'm sure you've seen at many events. And so we were staying there, and Emily was busy revising for exams, but I didn't have any revision because I was doing a research-based degree. So Kat invited me along to play pickleball with her and her friends. And so that was the first time I ever played. I went and played at the Cranbrook session in Kent, met some great people, had a lot of fun. And I was instantly hooked because myself and Emily, we'd met through the tennis club at Bristol University. That's where we started dating. So it was a sport that I took to pretty quickly and instantly fell in love with. And then I then looked up if there was a pickleball club in Bristol because I wanted to carry on playing, and that is how I met Roberto Rospo, and he ran the first pickleball club I played at. And so that was great fun. For about a year and a half, I played out of Bristol. I'd only play once every couple of weeks. I was mainly focusing on university tennis then, but it was really good just to mix in a bit of pickleball as well and have some fun with that.
So when was that? How long ago was that you got started?
It would have been 5 years ago now. So it would have been 2018, Christmas 2018, and then January 2019 is when I started playing in Bristol.
Okay. So yeah, quite a while in pickleball terms, anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. So where do you play now?
So now I play in London. I've not been playing much recently because, as you know, I've just had my first child, and then the build up to that, there was lots to get ready. But so I play out of Roehampton Club in London. So I'm very lucky. I get to play with a very good group of players. We've got Louis Laville, Thadia Locke, Freddie Powell, James Chowdhury, Molly Kubrick, Vinny Pay, Schwan, Peter Hitchman and Sam Basford. So we basically have a lot of the real top players playing in these sessions run by Louis Laville at Roehampton Club. So it's a really, really nice social group and a really fun competitive sessions to play in.
Excellent. Yeah, some not bad players there that you play with.
No, I mean, I think they probably, between them, made up about 80% of the medals at Nationals.
I was about to say that, yeah. I mean, we're recording this on the Monday after Nationals, which finished on Sunday, and Ed didn't make it because of his young daughter, but yeah, pretty much most of the medals are made up by those people there you mentioned. So yeah, good group. So for this podcast, I guess the main subject that we're going to talk about is the Premier Pickleball League that we'll call PPL now going forward because it's a mouthful. But yep. The PPL, I understand that you're very much involved in starting it. And I might be wrong, but did you start it yourself, or was there a few of you that kind of got together to start it? Tell us a little bit about the PPL.
So it was a few of us that started it. So I'd previously played about with the idea of running some events myself. I ran when I lived in Oxfordshire, I ran a pickleball event there. I think it was 3 years ago. Had about 100 players sign up for a single day event, and that was really good fun. And then I'd ran a couple of smaller events, kind of in an MLP sort of format, like team events, because I'm a big fan of the team event. It adds a lot of unpredictability, the way you can split lots of the top players and make teams really even. So I'd been seeing how much traction MLP had been getting in the States, and seeing it was the most popular format for pickleball out there, and the best for viewers to digest. If you don't come from if you haven't played pickleball before, it's the best one to view, to pick up the game. There's the best atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. People really getting behind each other, and there's great camaraderie. So I spoke with a number of my friends about whether they'd be interested in getting a league going here. So initially, the five of us that started it were myself, my partner Emily Jelly, Louis Leville, Freddie Powell, and Molly Kubrick-Finney. We've had loads of help from all the top players in getting it going and getting it out there, but just to get it off the ground, it was the five of us that put together the early events.
Yeah. And yes, you tell us a little bit about the teams that you've kind of, number of teams in the league, and kind of how you've kind of planned the fixtures and all those kind of things, just so we can get some background on that. Hi, Mark Mars here. I hope you're enjoying the show. This podcast is sponsored in part by the Pickleball Addiction store and newsletter. To support the show, please check out the Pickleball Addiction store at pickleballaddiction.co, where we stock a wide range of paddles, balls, nets and other accessories. Use coupon code POD10, that's POD10, to get 10% off your first purchase. You can also check out the Pickleball Addiction newsletter at pickleballaddiction.news, where we cover the latest news in pickleball from the UK and around the world. Thanks for your support, and now back to the show.
Yeah, so there's six teams in the league. So 6 teams in the league, and all the teams play each other twice in the league season in the regular season. So and on a match day, a team will play each 2 other teams. So say Louis' team Pickle play. They would play, say, Thaddeus' team, which is the pickleball store, and my team, which is advanced pickleball, in one weekend. And then after those 5 match weekends, which are spread across the year, everyone will have played everyone twice. And then we'll have our seedings for the championship finale, which is going to be held at Roehampton in March. We're hoping that's going to be quite a grand event. We're going to have Hawkeye there doing line calling, and we're hoping to get professional streaming setup going. So the 6 teams we've got, it was decided upon for a couple of reasons. Now, there's a lot of very good pickleball players in England and the United Kingdom, but there's kind of six superstar players. There's the 3 players on the male side that always are the top players in Europe, which are Louis Leville, Freddie Powell, James Chowdhury, and then the 3 girls, which are Vadia Locke, Paige Ran, and Molly Kubrick-Finney, and all of those 6 are they're the only players that are from England that are winning medals at the European Championships year on year. And so having one of them as a captain for each team and splitting them all into separate teams kind of guarantees a very even playing field. And then we had a snake draft from there on out, where they're taking it in turns to pick players in a kind of American draw. So people aren't entering as a team, everyone's entering as an individual, and then it's down to the captains to select teams. That led to really, really even teams where everyone's been beating everyone. So we're at the point we're halfway through. We've played 6 of the 10 league fixtures, and it's still all to play for. I mean, the team that's currently at the bottom of the table, if they win their 4 remaining games, it's very likely they'll end up winning the league still. There's nothing in it. There's only 2 wins separating all the teams. The early leaders so far are Thadia Locke's team. They've had a very impressive run so far, but they, like I say, they haven't gone undefeated. They've won most of their fixtures via Dreambreaker, so it's all been very tight.
Right. Fantastic. Yeah. So rally scoring in that, I assume, as well.
Oh yeah, sorry. It is rally scoring. It's rally scoring best of 3 games to 15. So the individual rally scoring game to 15 is quite a short game. Is typically a bit shorter than a conventional game to 11, but similar length. But then the best of 3 format works very well because it allows teams to have a tactical reset and come up with tactical changes, what they can do. And what we have noticed is there are a large number of games that are turned around. So a large number of most of the league matches go. All 3 games are played. It's very rare for a team to win in straight sets in the doubles, which is great because teams are able to just implement things as they go, which I think is a great format because all the tournaments that we typically play in this country are group stages, single game to 11, which is a great format, and it means you get to play a wide range of players, but it can disappear all too fast, and it's very, very easy for an upset. We're here. We're giving players their best chance to be able to adapt and really show their true ability.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's streamed as well, right? Each of the games.
Yes, yeah, they are streamed. Being the first season, we've had a couple of issues with connectivity at some of these venues. We need to. We're talking to a company now that's going to be providing a designated internet source for us because we've gone to a couple of David Lloyd venues where the signal's been a little bit weaker. But then we've had others like the Norwich event where we had complete. It was like the perfect venue with completely clear Wi-Fi, and Sam Anderson from the Norwich club, he did the live stream for us at that event with Rob Williams commentating, and it was amazing. Rob did a great job on commentary, and Sam did a great job with the camera. And we streamed to 2 locations. We streamed to Racket TV, who are one of our sponsors. They are a group of Swedish entrepreneurs who create software for pickleball. Classically, they made their name building a sports betting website in Sweden, but then they are like everyone listening to this, they're absolute pickleball enthusiasts. So now they're looking to make a career in pickleball technology, and it's a real passion project of theirs. So it's been great working with them. And then we also stream to YouTube because that is where you get the best amount of traction and most people seeing it.
It's funny you should say that because I knew about the Racket TV streaming, but I didn't know about the YouTube streaming. So is that to the PPL's YouTube channel?
Yes, it is to the PPL YouTube channel. At the moment, because Racket are one of our sponsors, we're trying to push the Racket link a lot more. So that's the one on Instagram that we'll be sharing all the time because they're doing a lot of things for us. So the more we can promote people to tune on their platform, the better. But we're finding YouTube's a good one for us to historically log all of the matches as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's great. One question I have is, generally when you've been attending these venues, people have enjoyed very much the matches in the Nationals just over the last weekend. It's still very, very fresh in our mind. There's an absolutely fantastic final to top it all off in the mixed doubles on the last day. If people wanted to attend in person to these events, is there space and is that able to happen?
Yes, yeah, that is very much able to happen. That is something that we greatly encourage as well. So we've been trying to promote that more. So at the second event we had in Norwich, Sam Basford and Louise Stevens ran a pickleball festival in tandem. So we had 3 match courts for the PPL events, and then we had an 8-court festival on the rest of the hall. And so Louise and her team from London Pickleball created a very slick schedule for players to really enjoy a full day of recreation games. And then when players had breaks, they would come and they would support the PPL games, which led to a really, really great atmosphere. Yeah. The next two events we have on the 17th of December at David Lloyd Cambridge, and then in January we are we're in Hampshire. Just the name of the venue is slipping my mind for a second. I'll come back to it in a second. But we're basically both events. We're going to be running a mini festival in tandem. So we're going to have a forecourt festival in Peterborough, which we're going to open up soon for people to enter, and then we'll have 6 courts in January, and so that will be a great opportunity for people to come along, play a lot of fun recreational games, and then see the top players in the country in action as well.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I was just trying to look up the fixtures, but on the Pickleball England site, at least, it's not. Doesn't actually say
it's on the
coming soon or something.
It's on the Premier League Pickleball Instagram page. I'll find it for you in the background while I answer the next question.
Okay, yeah. So that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask. Actually, though, where are they? I will put a link in the description, but just so we know where they are. If people are local-ish, then they want to turn up, then they can. Is there any tickets of that, or is it just turn up? Well, it's going to be part of a festival, right?
No, So all of them are free. All of them are free to enter, except the finale in Roehampton. We're going to try and get a grandstand and potentially charge for ticketing there. There's quite a lot of things that we need to sort out logistically ahead of that event. So it will be a bit of time before information is released around anything like that. But the venues we've gone to so far, our first fixture was in Basingstoke, Wilton Tennis. That was very successful, and then we went to Norwich. That was another great venue. Then David Lloyd in Woking, and then the fourth league fixture. So those are the 3 completed ones. The fourth one is on Sunday, the 17th of December at David Lloyd Cambridge. That's from 1 to 9 p.m. We'll be having a festival. And then on Sunday, the 28th of January, we're going to go to G-Force Tennis Centre. So that's in Hampshire, and that's from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. We have those courts. And then the finale is on Sunday, the 24th of March at Roehampton Club in London, and that's going to be from midday to 8 p.m.
Fantastic. I will definitely. So where's the one in Hampshire again? Remind me.
It's called G-Force Tennis, which is it's a tennis academy in Kingsley.
Okay, so I'm in Hampshire, so I might well come along to that one as well, and I'm definitely up for coming to the one at Roehampton. That sounds fantastic. You're going to get a grandstand and everything as well, so I'll be there.
Well, hopefully, I don't want to get ahead of myself. That is the dream, is to get some kind.
Well, yeah, I mean, there wasn't a grandstand at the Nationals, was there? But that was still a fantastic atmosphere, and even if it's not, it'll still be a great spectacle, I'm sure.
Yeah, it really added to having one at the English Open. The English Open was a really, really fantastic event.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, that may be getting a bit ahead of myself, but season 2, have you even thought about season 2 yet? Are you planning for season 2? What is there going to be a redraft and that kind of thing?
Yes, so absolutely. So there's season 2. There's going to be a few things in the pipeline. The plan is for season 2 to have so that the weekends will be more full. We'll plan to run the events over a Saturday and a Sunday, and there will be 4 things that we will look to do every weekend. We will look to have the PPL, so the PPL Professional League event. We will look to have a kind of challenger league as well, so the next tier down, so the aspiring players, the ones that are just off the pace, a 50 plus league, and then also we would like to continue to run the festivals. So we found that the events where we've been able to run the festivals in tandem have been the best for atmosphere, and having more people that love the sport that aren't actually playing at the event in attendance has just been amazing.
Wow, so you're really expanding it out quite a lot.
Yes. So, and then there's the team behind it is growing. Sam Basford is going to be playing a larger role. He's very keen to get involved and keep running his festivals and events. And then Sam Anderson from Norwich is going to be playing a bigger part. So there's going to be a larger group of us, and we're looking to really put on as much of a pickleball show as possible.
Yeah, wow, I'm excited already. That sounds great. I mean, it's funny that you kind of did. I mean, I as I've mentioned many times on this podcast, I'm quite new into pickleball. I only really started in February, but I immediately started asking questions like, why is there no pro pickleball league? Why are there no facilities? Why are there no this? Why are there no... And
Yeah,
the league was one of those things, and I was really pleased to see, because it was only right in summer sort of time, right? Maybe the start of the summer you started this.
that's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and so, oh, sorry. And the other question you asked was around, will there be a redraft? And yes, there will be a redraft for the new season. Because as you alluded to, a lot of people are very new to pickleball. Like, there are some absolutely amazing players. Like, so there were players at the nationals, like people like Ben Corsten, who he plays a sport called rackets, and he's actually the world champion, and he's just recently started pickleball. There's players like him who have only actually started since the season started. They're already top players, and so they'll no doubt be drafted into the league next season. And I'm sure the standard's just going to go up and up, because that's what we've already seen from this season.
Yeah, absolutely. More and more. We know more and more players coming in all the time, and the level's just getting better as well. I mean, I feel like even the level between the Open and the Nationals has elevated. Watching the pro players, and that's only a couple of months. So you alluded to Hawkeye, which is exciting. Just a minute ago. I mean, they haven't even sorted out anything for line calls properly in the US for many of their pro tournaments. But tell us about Hawkeye and the plans for Hawkeye. I don't know if I mentioned already, but you work at Hawkeye, right? So you do have some genuine.
I do, yes. Yes. So I've worked at Hawkeye. I'm for the last 4 years. I'm a product manager there in the analytics and insights department. So most of what I do is based around tennis coaching tools. Not at this year's Nationals, but the year before at Nationals, myself and a few friends from Hawkeye, we set up a video review kit where we had 12 cameras around the court pointed down the lines, and we were able to officiate and make decisions based upon that, and that was great. They were cameras that would catch 150 frames per second, so you could see exactly where the ball had bounced, and it was a very effective way of calling footfalls and where the ball had bounced in and out, and it was very easy to review every decision within about 5 seconds. And so the plan is to have this at the finale at Roehampton in March. I would love to have it at every event moving forward. That is a conversation I need to have with work. Not something I can get ahead of myself with. But yeah, so I know that there are. I'm not going to say which companies, but there are companies in the US that have been approaching Hawkeye and are looking to get Hawkeye at pickleball events, because currently they have a single camera video review system which using their broadcast camera, and it takes a really long time, and then they're pretty much just guessing at a result about whether a ball's in or out because they don't have the right angle. It's absolutely something that's going to happen as pickleball grows and the money in these events grows. So I mean, everyone knows Hawkeye is such a staple of tennis event, even it goes really quite far down the pro ladder that you still have Hawkeye at tennis events, and to be honest, it's hard for an event to be taken seriously if it didn't have it. And I'm sure that will be the case with pickleball in the near future, whether or not that company that does the officiating is Hawkeye, or whether a new player will come into the game with a specific pickleball solution is to be seen. But obviously, working at Hawkeye and loving the sport, I really hope they plug the gap.
Yeah, so I got a more generic question for you then on Hawkeye, which probably applies to tennis as well. But I guess the reason I'm thinking about it is because of foot faults and stuff in pickleball. Is there any way that or do we even want it? Is there a reason that we don't? It doesn't happen at the moment, where actually calls are automatic. There doesn't have to be a challenge in order for a line call to be called in or out. So it's almost a bit like the goal line technology, right? That Hawkeye has for immediately
Yes.
know whether it's a goal or not. You could immediately know whether the ball is in or out, and actually there doesn't have to be that need for a challenge to make that decision. Is that something we avoid and we don't want in tennis or pickleball, or is that something that might be coming down the road?
Well, in tennis, that actually does happen. So it's at Wimbledon, they're traditionalists, and they have a Hawkeye system, which is automated. So it's ball tracking technology. So the ball is tracked, and then at the Hawkeye booth, it says instantly whether the ball's in or out. But then it's on the player to challenge. But I don't know if you've watched the US Open or the Australian Open or most of the hard court or grass events outside of Wimbledon. They have a product that we call Hawkeye Live, and there it automatically calls over the tannoy whether a ball is out, and there's no challenges because if a ball's out, the tannoy says it, and so that actually is already a thing in tennis. So whether that would be a thing in pickleball, I think it very much could be. So the reason it won't be in the near future is because that would involve a full ball tracking system, which involves far more computational power than just a video review system. So I think pickleball will start off with a video review system where it's just someone manually looking back through the video, because that's very, very easy to operate, and it's not inexpensive to set up, but it's relatively inexpensive to set up compared to a full tracking system where you need to have quite a lot of graphics processing power for the machine learning models.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I guess I was thinking about foot faults and them automatically kind of getting picked up rather than the ball itself. But that's a different whole piece of kit, I imagine, as well.
I mean, a tracking, like the tracking kits that we have, that would, like, if pickleball were to generate a similar sort of revenue to tennis, that would absolutely be a solvable problem to very quickly.
Yeah. Okay, that's all really exciting. There's loads of this is why I love doing these podcasts, because this is all stuff that I want to know and I'm interested in, but it's very hard to know about it and hear about it. Not necessarily just the Hawkeye stuff, but all this stuff you're planning for the PPL. So it's really exciting stuff, and yeah. Well, thanks for taking the ball by the horns and pushing it forward.
You're very welcome. I mean, it felt like an area that really needed filling, because prior to us starting the league, as I told you, that at the moment quite a lot of the players are based in London, but going back a couple of years, I was living in Oxfordshire, Louis was in London, Fadia was in Guildford, James was in Southampton, and Sam and Peter Basford were in Rugby, and we would occasionally all meet up and play, but there weren't a great deal number of younger players in the sport at the time, and typically it would only be at, say, the English Open and the English Nationals and one other event a year where you would actually get to play all the top players. And so these events, they're completely fantastic events. Everything Pickleball England does is absolutely spot on and amazing, but one area we really wanted to target with the league was the top players getting access to playing other top players more regularly, because it's very tough. So you said in the New Forest you have this young player that's wanting to challenge himself more regularly. Like, I think it would be great for him to sign up for this Challenger League, because it would be guaranteed 6 events a year where he gets to play against other similarly talented people, and normally that's very hard to come by in pickleball, where the sports is growing at the younger demographic, but in this country we still the 50 plus demographic is still much higher than the younger portion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm nearly there. I'm nearly in the 50 plus, so maybe I can work hard and try and get into that in a couple of seasons time. There was another question I had for you. Oh, right, that was it. So in terms of thinking about MLP, and how they've found success, or the plans that they have for trying to build a fan base. So it's very much. I think it was kind of fluke. I think one of the teams, and I can't remember which team, decided they were going to base it on geography, their team name. So it was going to be, the Seattle Pioneers, for example. I don't think it was Seattle, but one of them, and then everyone else followed suit because they want to try and get that fan base from that location to really get behind the team. And at the moment, obviously, you've got the way that you've done it was similar to how they were going to do it. I think before someone came up with the idea of doing that, one of the team names. And I have thought myself, a bit like the Premier League and football, you're actually getting some teams that are location based. I guess it's harder because a lot of the players are it's all based around London right now, I guess. But have you thought about that? Have you thought about making a geography based kind of structure?
Yes, I have very much thought about that. But I mean, it would be, I feel like there's no. Yes, absolutely. That is something that has been thought about, and that would be a great way to bring in a larger variety of sponsors. Because I'm sure, say you had a Peterborough pickleball team, you would be able to approach a lot of local companies in Peterborough that may be interested in sponsoring that team, having their emblem on that team's kit, and that would be a great way to grow it. So that is something that we're looking at. That's something that potentially will be pushed for next season, but not definitely. So it's something that we're discussing at the moment. We actually have a call about that very topic later this week.
Ah, interesting. I mean, it could be this is almost the next tier down. Maybe that has that. This is like the elite. Your league is the elite league, and then because I've been thinking about this myself a little bit. Like it could be that you break the country up into quarters, and you have a number of different teams, which were from the southeast, the northeast, the southwest, and they all play regularly, and then they meet for a grand final. At the end, the top leagues in that region then comes and plays for like a super final almost. But that doesn't have to be necessarily the same thing that you're doing. It could be that this is just an amateur. More of an amateur level or aspiring players level, a feeder if you like, into the Premier League. But I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself probably for the number of players that want to do this kind of stuff. But
I mean, that actually is in existence in the format you're talking. So I don't know if you've met Andre Strachan, but he is absolutely fantastic guy. He runs this league called SEPL, I think it's called the Southeast Pickleball League. I apologies, Andre, if that's not the correct acronym. But so him and Louise Stevens and a few others, they run local leagues of a similar format and in areas of the country. So they capture a lot of the top players in the Surrey area. So there's a Farnham team, Woking team, and there's some of I believe it's the South London area pickleball and London pickleball team. Both have teams in the league, and Richard Basford has. Not Richard Basford. Richard Wise has started a Northern League in the same vein that he's called the Spartan League. So these local leagues at the challenger level, they are in existence. I guess that those leagues are amazing, and the standard is driving along so well, and they do a fantastic job. At the moment, I would say the number of 4-5-5-0 plus players in England means that if you want to get a full league with these level of players, you need to pull from all areas of the country. There's not enough top level players yet to be able to have county leagues where the standard is high enough that you can push it out as a pro product. You need to be able to pull all the talent from the country to have a really, really viable pro product to promote pickleball to the rest of the world currently. But there's so many people working so hard in the pickleball space that there absolutely will be in a couple of years' time. So I'm aware of there's the Southwest League as well. I actually haven't been to any of these, and I guess I wasn't quite aware of exactly how it all worked. But that's interesting. I'm definitely going to look into that for myself a little bit more. I think I was listening to a podcast just this week. It's King of the Court. I don't know if you listen to any podcasts. King of the Court
with Tyler Loom. So he was talking to. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to say no. I'm afraid I've not come across that. I recognize the name of the player, but I've not tuned into the podcast.
It's quite a good podcast actually. They're a bit more on the controversial side, so they sort of say things that a lot of people don't say about what's going on on the professional scene in the US. But they had Ben Johns on just this week, and they were talking about the structure of the MLP and how that works going forward. What with the alliance with the PPA and all that kind of thing. And he came up with an interesting kind of idea to kind of, because obviously they've offered really expensive contracts now to these players. How do they cut costs but make it interesting on an ongoing basis? And he was talking about having almost like a Monday night football, Tuesday night football kind of fixtures where of all of the MLP teams, there's always a game on a Monday and a game on a Tuesday. It's kind of generally at kind of one or two venues, so that venue is almost a permanent fixture, set up with all the camera gear, set up with a nice backdrop, and all those kind of things. So the viewership, and this is probably ahead of what we need for the UK, but the viewership gets to watch games every single week, keep the content flowing, and they don't have that massive expense of huge events they've got to put on all the time for thousands of people, lots and lots of people, because there's only so many people that need to attend each one. And I thought that was quite interesting. A slightly different way of doing it.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really, really interesting way of doing it. They have the luxury, I guess, that that they're able to do that, and it's logistically feasible. I would love us to be able to do a similar sort of thing. I think at the moment we kind of have to travel around a bit with it, because otherwise if we had a single location, we're expecting a larger number of the talent pool to travel each way. So we've tried to spread it so that we have our locations spread across the kind of like hotspots of pickleball within the country. But that sounds like a fantastic way of them doing it, and I would absolutely love a kind of match of the day kind of digestible form of pickleball.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they're all expenses paid and everything for everyone, whereas here it's a totally different ball game. But okay. Well, I just thought it seems quite interesting. It's quite nice that they're playing with different ideas for how they can, because you're talking about getting viewership. I was talking to somebody today about this as well. Even in the US, given how popular the sport is, the actual number of viewers they're managing to get on streams is still not that high, and that's why they're kind of playing with these different ideas, I think.
Yeah, well, that is one of the things that is a real ambition is to get the PPL games onto iPlayer next year. And if we could get BBC Red Button, that would be unbelievable. But that's something. I mean, it's something we're in early talks with. It's there's interest. There is a sport that they've acknowledged and are looking to go forward with. So it's just a case of coming to some kind of agreement, and hopefully that's going to be doable in the next few months. And so from next season onwards, that would be amazing if we can push pickleball to iPlayer.
Excellent. That would be epic. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so tell us a little bit. Well, I mean, we started, I guess, a little bit on the future of PPL, but what other plans do you have? We talked about the season 2. We talked about iPlayer. Well, maybe in the short and long term, what's your plans for PPL?
So short term, we want to basically grow awareness of it. At the moment, as you're aware, we formed this summer. We've had Molly Kubrick Finney running our social media for the majority of the campaign. The rest of the team's been across it a bit, but she's been the kind of spearhead figure for running that, and she's done a great job reaching a large number of accounts. But basically, we really need to just keep trying to push that, grow to a wider audience. And I mean, ideally for us, we want to hit all demographics, but we really want to be pushing it so that we get these young, talented, up-and-coming tennis players wanting to join in the sport and other racket players. And we also want to be able to reach a larger number of sponsors so that we can increase our budget and be able to do a lot more things. So what I should say is we've had unbelievable support. So within I think 4 weeks of us having the idea for starting the league, we'd already managed to find team sponsors for all the teams, and we're very appreciative of that. We have Franklin Pickleball, who I'm not sure. Many of the listeners to this will have met Jared Franklin. He's an amazing guy. He runs Franklin Pickleball. They are our headline sponsor. They provide nets, balls, the prize money, and all manner of things. They've given us a large number of paddles for giveaways, and he's been happy to assist in everything. We've got an amazing relationship with him. We have Scan, who sponsored loads of pickleball events in this country. Sam Basford Pickleball, Sam's come on. He's sponsored one of the teams. He's running the festivals. We have Advanced Pickleball, which is a company set up by Rob Williams. We have Pickle Play, and which is a US app that is designed for players finding social games and basically meeting new friends through pickleball. They're looking to move into Europe. They've been very, very key to us. They've been sending out our live streaming links to their tens of thousands of subscribers in the States. And then we have Racket TV, who do our scoring system and also provide a platform for us to live stream onto. And then the Pickleball store, which is run by Lloyd Atterill, who's a really great guy, lives between the Isle of Wight, Southampton. Lovely bloke. He's our final team sponsor. But we're basically looking to be able to, we've had amazing support. We want to be able to grow that so that we're able to do more things, potentially have a European Champions League style event. That would be a real highlight for us. We would like to be able to invest in our own travelling show courts. At the moment, we're having all of these events at David Lloyd's and we're taping tennis courts. What we would love is, I'm sure you've seen the show court at the English Nationals and the English Open, these Pickleball United courts. We're looking to be able to own a similar sort of court for the league that we can use for these events. That would be one of the aims for next season. And really, I mean, we want to grow awareness of the sport. That is like the main aim of this whole venture. Is we all love pickleball. We just want it to become a more mainstream sport. All of us have that or started it. We have pretty similar stories of playing this largely. I mean, I started off playing while I was doing a PhD. I would largely play in the middle of the day in Oxfordshire with a group of 60 to 80-year-olds, and it was so much fun. But it's kept growing and growing, and now playing these sessions with these guys at Roehampton, it's like a really becoming an established sport, and we want to keep doing that. I mean, we just want to bring in as many viewers as we can, and just grow the game.
Yeah, fantastic. So, the APP are being quite making some moves, I guess, across the world. Outside of the US, obviously they sponsor the UK events. They've just and other events around the world, and also the MLP are definitely looking to make moves to go international as well. I know that they have somebody in the UK that's looking to do that around the UK. They've just taken over a league, or rebranded a league in Australia to MLP Australia. So, I guess those leagues are kind of coming as well, or there's definitely interest there. How do you think that all fits in with the PPL, and what do you think the outlook will look like going forward?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I mean, the truth is, I'm not sure how it will work out. I would imagine that there would, down the line, be some kind of partnership between one of these leagues and ourselves. They have this enormous global reputation. I mean, MLP, APP, PPA, they all have they're just well-established professional tours in the States. They hit a large audience there, all very well-respected brands. I guess we're far more in our infancy, and we're an up-and-coming product. I mean, we have when they look to come into the space, I guess we have the advantage that we have all the top players currently signed up and playing in our league, and I think, ultimately I would imagine, want to be involved with what we're doing because it's very similarly aligned to what they will want with a global strategy. I don't know when these companies will look to go global. I know that various the APP were at the English Nationals and the Swedish Open. MLP have taken over the Australian League. PPA, I'm not sure which events they've done globally so far, but they've obviously been busy with this merger with MLP. So I'm sure all of them will look to, now that it's such an established sport in the States, they'll all be looking to grow globally. So I guess the next couple of years could be really exciting. Could be a real opportunity for collaboration and to just aid the growth of the sport even more.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it's exciting times. To come for sure. Next 12, 24 months is going to be very interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think at the moment we're still on a steep learning curve, but what has been incredibly powerful for us is the family feel of pickleball. So the players within the PPL, there's such an incredibly good bonding experience. So like playing in a team throughout the season, you get to know people really well. I didn't know some of the players in my team too well before the start of the season. We've got Jang Evans, Natalia Novikova, James Salter, Stu Parmenter, myself and Molly on our team. And now, like every time I see them all at an event, I'm so happy to see all of them. All great players. And I know Molly and Natalia both won medals this weekend at the English Nationals in the pro event. Did amazingly. I was watching the live stream, getting super excited for both of them, and I know other people have been like that with their teams. It's really bonding, and there's so much knowledge within the league on events. We have players like Thadia Locke. She has worked at Eastbourne tennis events and Wimbledon, and lovely girl. I've been friends with her since I started pickleball, and she's if you ever have any questions about anything like that, she will happily help. She knows a lot of the sponsors that can help put people in touch, and things like that really help. James Chowdhury, Sam Basford obviously have been heavily involved in Pickleball England, and they've been really, again, everyone just has had so much input. Like it might have been a few of us that started it, but the players we've had on board this season, like I owe massive credit to all of them because they've all made it incredibly enjoyable and a relatively straightforward process, and have managed to keep things going pretty smoothly because everyone just loves the game, and it's been easy to get good quality matches with such a talented bunch.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for more of the team format. I mean, even at the Nationals where we did the MLP style, it was for one day.
Yeah.
I hadn't met a lot of the players on the team. We had a pickleball addiction team. Oh, we won, of course, which is the first thing. And it won't be the last time I mention it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But even just that day, just the bonding experience, just for that day of everyone getting together, and they've got some great memories now. They're going to go back and they just said it's going to be something they're not going to forget for a long time. So I think that's something that we've kind of shared together there that day. So it's fantastic, and I'm so pleased that you're doing kind of more of that, and it's going to be great for going forward.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So to wrap up with our last couple of questions, it's been a really great interview, so thanks for sharing all that you have. It's got me excited for sure. But what events are you planning to attend once you're sort of released from young babyhood?
Yeah, so that's a tough one to answer because it's going to be a slightly reduced schedule in the next few months. But so next month in November, I'm planning on attending the Hampshire Peak League events. That is actually going to be held at the same GeForce tennis venue that our final league regular season fixture is being held at. So I'm looking to go there. I'm just looking to play the singles. I've not actually hit a pickleball in about 3 months with the birth of my child, so I wouldn't want to inflict myself on anyone else in the doubles. So I'll do the singles there, and I'll introduce the new arrival of the family to a lot of my friends, and then after that. In December, it will be the PPL Cambridge fixture. January will be the PPL fixture at GeForce, and then next year. So my partner Emily, when she'll be back playing by the December PPL events, and then we'll be looking to do a few events. We'll look to do the European Championships. I'm sure we'll look to go to one of the Swedish events. We've got a lot of pickleball friends in Sweden. We actually named our daughter after one of our pickleball friends in Sweden. So any excuse to get back out there, and then French Open, Spanish Open in the summer. I hate to miss any of those. And then obviously every event in England I like to go to. English Nationals, English Open next year. I will definitely be in attendance.
Fantastic. Okay. Anything I should have asked you that I didn't, you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mainly just want to reiterate that massive thanks to all the sponsors that have got on board so quickly and been so key to getting this off the ground. I know Jared has been unbelievable with his support of the league and everything he's offered. Lloyd from the Pickleball Store, he's made so much content for us. He's forever building reels for the players and doing highlights videos. I'm not much of a social media person, so it's been invaluable to me that him and Molly have taken such a lead there. Then Louis and Freddie, they've been so helpful at every event with all the setup and just logistically. I mean, Louis the kind of person that can chat to you forever about pickleball and just absolutely loves it, and he's been one of the top players in Europe for such a long time. He's just kind of got an absolute wealth of knowledge to draw on. So it's been amazing. It's been amazing, just this whole experience. It's really helped cement so many of my friendships, and just love being part of this pickleball family in England.
Fantastic. So if people want to learn more or they'd like to follow what you're doing, where should they do that?
So the best place to follow is the Premier Pickleball League Instagram account. I can send a link for you now, but that's where you'll get the regular updates. We have a Facebook page as well. We get a lot less traction with the Facebook page. It tends to be a lot of the younger followers are a bit less religious about checking it than they were 5-10 years ago. So we found that Instagram is our best spot for pushing content. So I would say follow our Premier Pickleball League Instagram account. We have a website incoming, but that will be announced on the channel once that's up and running.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll put links into the description below so that people can easily find you there. Okay, well, thank you very much, Ed. It's been a really interesting discussion. I've really enjoyed it, and talking to you and learning more and asking all the questions I wanted to ask. So hopefully it'll be interesting to the audience as well. So thanks once again for coming on.
Oh, thanks a lot for having me, Mark. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully I'll get to meet you in person at an event very soon.
Great. I look forward to it. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.